Hi there, it's Grandma and story time again. Today I have a story called The Story Blanket. Deep in the snow-covered mountains was the tiny village where Baba Zara lived. The children loved to settle down on Baba Zara's big old blanket to listen to her stories. One day, Baba Zara noticed there was a hole in Nikolai's shoe. When the children left, she decided to knit Nikolai some nice warm socks. But so much snow had fallen that winter that no one could get through to the village to deliver wool yarn. How could she knit warm socks without wool? "Every question has an answer," said Baba Zara. "I just have to think of it." She poured herself a glass of sweet tea to help her think. Before she had taken 3 sips, Baba Zara knew what to do. "I will unravel a little of the story blanket and use the wool for Nikolai's socks," she said. Late that at night, when everyone was asleep, Baba Zara trekked through the snow and left the socks on Nikolai's doorstep. A few days later, Baba Zara noticed the postman looked quite chilly. Soon after, the postman found a scarf wrapped around his mailbag when he left to start his morning rounds. "Do you know who made it?" he asked everyone. But no one did. The schoolmaster was surprised to find a pair of warm mittens on the woodpile when he brought in wood for the school stove. Mrs. Ivanov flapped her ravens from her wash with a new knitted apron she discovered beside her water pump. Before long, the grocer was wearing a new shawl instead of her old, moth-eaten one. And the children had to sit closer on the blanket when they came to Baba Zara's for a story. Day by day, the villagers grew more curious about the mysterious gifts. Baby Olga received a soft new blanket, and the butcher showed off a fancy new woolen cap that covered his shiny bald head. The children were now squashed together on Baba Zara's very small story blanket. Confusion grew when the tailor's scraggly cat showed up, purring and grand in a snug cat coat. There was no story blanket left to sit on. The villagers asked the mayor to help them solve the mystery. "You know what Baba Zara always says," the mayor replied. "Every question has an answer." When the children saw the socks, the scarf, the mittens, the apron, the shawl, the cap, the baby blanket, the cat coat, all together, they shouted, "It looks like Baba Zara's old story blanket." "But she doesn't have it anymore," said Nikolai. "Aha," said the mayor. "The mystery is solved. Baba Zara used the wool in her blanket to make these gifts. Now it's our turn to give Baba Zara a surprise." So while Baba Zara slept, a few rows of wool were unraveled from every blanket in every household and left on Baba Zara's doorstep. Baba Zara was amazed when she opened her front door in the morning. She had never seen so much wool yarn in so many colors. And on top of it all was a sign that read, "For your new story blanket." The next time the children went to Baba Zara's for a story, there was a colorful new blanket to sit on and a tale about a village where everyone shared with each other. As she hugged the children goodbye, Baba Zara noticed a hole in Alexandra's sweater. She wanted to knit Alexandra a surprise, but the snow was still on the hills and no wool yarn was to be had anywhere in the village. Baba Zara knew that every question had an answer. She looked at her new story blanket and smiled. The end. Well, that was a fun story about a village that learned how to share, and they knew how to share. Baba Zara taught them that she was willing to share her story blanket so that they could each have something warm and that they needed. All right, good story. Hope you enjoyed it. Grandma loves you.